Alright, so today's painting is going to be inspired by this color scheme. Some peacock feather colors, ultramarine blue, a tint of phthalo blue, a tint of phthalo green, burnt sienna, and an orange. Okay, so you see that I have my colors mixed up here. This is just tinted Pthalo Green, tinted Pthalo Blue, ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, and orange. I mixed the burnt sienna myself, and I am seeing that it has a piece of trash in it, so I'm going to pause the video. So as I was saying, I mixed the burnt sienna myself. It is a mixture of yellow, quinacridone magenta, and then the recipe that I found on Golden Acrylics said to do 8 parts Hansa yellow medium, 4 parts quinacridone magenta, and 1 part of phthalo green. When I did that, it did not turn out to look like this color that I wanted at all. That's how I accidentally got the raw umber that I've been using. To get this burnt sienna, I ended up adding, after I got this greenish yellow, almost like a yellow ochre, but not an attractive yellow ochre, I added much more magenta and much more of the ultramarine blue, and that is when I got this lovely chocolatey burnt sienna color. And then for the orange, which I also mixed myself, it is 6 parts Hansa yellow medium to 1 part quinacridone magenta. And then it was a little too intense, so I did add probably this is a third white to 2/3 of the orange mixture. And I am going to pop the bubbles on some of these because I mixed them not too long ago, and I just want to make sure that that's not an issue. There we go. Okay, so I'm not sure what order I'm going to do this in. We're just going to do it. I'm going to do a flip cup on the on the PBO liquid art panel, even though I haven't had good luck with that, but I just really want to do a flip cup with this color scheme. And I think I'm gonna go with the blues first and go towards my warmer colors. So there is my Pthalo Green, my Pthalo Blue, my Ultramarine, which I think probably don't need a lot of that because it's a really bright color, burnt sienna, and orange. I want to see more of these, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm going to cover my panel with white. Set this aside. Where did my palette knife go? There it is. I'm going to spread this around. If you're wondering about my paint recipe, I do have some videos on my YouTube channel about my paint recipe, how I mix my paint, what what ingredients I put in my paint to get it to the consistency that I want. I do not use silicone in my paintings because I am afraid that that will change the archival quality over time of the paint. I'm afraid it might yellow or create holes because it's an oil-based product that doesn't dry, whereas acrylic is water-based and does dry much quicker, much more quickly. Words. All right, flip cup time. Gonna let it settle for a second. All right. Oops. That's pretty. Did not mean to get it on the side of the panel. I'm just going to make it worse. Sometimes I have had success sanding that down afterwards. The reason I didn't tape this off is that some of the ones that I have taped off have ended up, when I pull the tape up, I end up pulling the grain up also. The grain of the wood. And that's definitely not something I want to do. Now I'm experiencing the problem that I have experienced with other of these liquid art panels, and that is that the paint pour just doesn't want to change shape because it's trapped. So I'm sloshing it around, but it's really pretty much staying as it were. So I'm just gonna sit tight, let it spread out. Using the heat gun to pop air bubbles. Trying to keep a very careful eye on the corners to make sure that it doesn't flow over the lip. Slowly tilting it, and I'm watching this very dainty bead spread along the very edge of the lip. I think I'm just gonna set a timer and force myself to leave it alone. I really like the color scheme, just not so sure about the composition yet. It's pretty stagnant. But this helps, and maybe I shouldn't have wiped that off. Maybe I should have just allowed it to sort of leave the frame. I do have some more in my flip cup, and I might embellish this with one more swoop. But first, I'm going to make myself leave it alone, like I said. Alright, it has been 10 minutes or so, and one thing I see is that it's not very level and it's sort of swam over to this side, so I'm going to adjust that so it can flow back over a little bit. without losing it. And I do think that I'm going to take this excess paint and swoosh it across. And I'm going to try to do it where that was, since it already crossed the frame there. I'm going to lift it up and let it swim back over a little bit first. Okay. Here goes nothing. I'm scared. Come out. Well, that adds a little bit of directional something. And now I am going to take it and put it on a level surface so it can decide where it's going to land.